Okay. So again, I'm starting with a vertical line that goes here. I'm just going to lightly sketch it in here just to get it started so I know where I'm going, and then I can put the pencil here and line up the straight edge. Just remember it's down at the base with these two lines right here. So here's that piece, and depending on how wide I make this, line this section up, and that gives me the top. And from this point, I just want to make sure that it's going to the vanishing point all the way to the right. So I'll take the point, put the ruler against it, and just swing it into position way over here by the vanishing point. And that gives me that first part. I don't need to draw the line all the way out. And then I can just rotate it, say I want it to be about this big. So I can just rotate it for here. And that gives me that shape. So now the attention is trying to find the center of this one. So just lining the diagonals up, but just putting a little line right there. Doing the same the other direction. To just find just the center. And the more accurate this is, the easier it'll be for your sketch. Now I'm just going to draw a vertical line down there. Now keep in mind, depending on your ruler, you can use it to help you guide this straight down. I have it lined up on the top and the bottom. So this is going to be the center line that helps me with the measuring. So now I go from the opposite corner to the midpoint to locate where the next box is going to be, and it's actually almost on the horizon line right there. This one goes to the right vanishing point to finish off this box, and then from here through this again, from here to here. So it's just repeating the same method all the way down, and now it goes up. So here's the point all the way to the right hand side. Okay, so I have 1, 2, and 3, and now just have to determine how far I'm going to make, how wide I want to make this. So I'm going to slightly sketch it in, and then I can go ahead and draw it in. And now I have that as a guide. I can just rotate everything right from the vanishing point right to there. And since this is going to be in pen, I'm just going to go ahead and make it in pen. So instead of 3 boxes, it's just going to do 2 on the last one. Make it fit in there easy. And then just accentuate these lines. Now the bottom and the top of these I haven't done yet. Look at there. So this bottom one goes right on the horizon line, so I won't see neither top nor bottom. This one I'm just going to lightly pencil in to get the other side right here. And there you have it. Now, to finish off the drawing, what I'd like you to do is to look at the shapes that you now have. We've done 4 of these, and it has a compositional element to it, but I'd like you to take a look and see if you can't heavy up. It's going to just be a line drawing, just the outlines, no shading. But I'd like you to use the thin and thick lines of the area in the foreground and taper it into the back. And whether you do it freehand or with a straight edge will help. But for example, this is just the foreground shape, and it's just one pass with the pen, but I'm going to heavy this up a couple times, couple thicknesses, so I'm drawing the pen and then I'm just tilting it a little bit to get a thicker line, keeping the straight edge right where it's at. And for all these squarish shapes that are in the front, in the foreground, I'm just making this heavier. Okay. The lines that are in the distance that fade back, for example, those are just going to stay the thickness they are because you want them to be the lightest. Oops, and the don't do that. And the lightest line is going to be the furthest one back. So it's trying to show you that the line quality of these is going to help show the depth. So for this first one, it's kind of a so you can see the heaviness of the line minus that little sketch there. And then the lines that are going backwards, see if you can't make them go from thick to thin. So here's the normal size. I'm just rotating the straight edge a little bit just to give me a little bit of a thicker line going back so it shows the depth. From there, you kind of see. So these back ones I'm just going to leave because that's as thin as I can get it, whichever was the first segment that you started with. See what happens here. And now this one, these were all vertical in a column, so they're all similar in the foreground. The next one, this one's going to be the heaviest line in the group, so I'm going to line this one up. Again, there's the pen. Now if I go vertically or the opposite direction, it'll help me heavy that up. The middle one I'm just going to double up a little, and the last one leave as it is, just to try to make the line quality get a little thicker as it goes into the distance there. And see if you can't go from a thick to thin line on the lines that go back to the vanishing point. And it'll help clean up your drawing as well. As it goes through, you can kind of see a little bit of a difference with the thickness. Now, the farther you go, obviously, you'll get a little bit more detail, but that's kind of the idea, to accentuate the line quality for the foreground elements to be closer and darker. So then when you look at it overall, you'll see a little bit more of a difference. So here I'm just sliding the straight edge across the surface. Gives a little bit more weight to the line. So give that a shot.